at a hotel at a
boy.
basketball tournament.
What did you pay for? What did you pay for?
Huh?
You actually paid for this?
Yeah,
What did you pay for?
it was pretty good.
What was it?
I'm reading work email.
Yeah, just real quick.
Came out.
Don't worry, we're not live. Just tell everyone.
No, really. So people think
what you ate.
You know the whole avocado toast thing that people make fun of young people, like dumbass millennials for.
Who makes fun of them?
$12
You mean like
avocado toast? I do. It is good. It ain't $12 good or $8.
Yeah, that's the
good.
issue. That's my issue. Like, avocado toast is awesome. It's just
hell, I just make my own. Like I go to Safeway, you get like 5 avocados for like $3. It's California, right? We got San Diego. That's all we do is make them down there, and it's really good. You put on the toast, you put some salt on there, some pepper.
So why are you always making fun of it then?
Because people are paying like $8 for it. That's the joke. Is like millennials are like, whatever. Why are you spending money on the avocados? You could be spending it on some RGB lights for your case instead.
RGB RAM even.
Oh, the RGB fake RAM.
RGB
fake RAM. Somebody actually.
I don't know if I'd pay like $10 even for toast covered in bacon, much less avocado.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Well,
That's just like two of the most expensive things in the world.
Also,
might as well be gold-plated bacon and some avocado.
Also, you don't live in the Bay Area, so you're not used to overpaying for everything.
Yeah, I went to Midwest and I got a drink with a friend, and we went to settle the bill. We only had one drink each, and bartender says $4, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay. And I was like, that's $4 for a cider. That's a really good price. And he's like, no, for both of you guys. And I was like, what?
I need to go there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the best thing ever was I was on assignment with someone in Idaho, Brian Rhodes. He's at Reuters now, but we got a ticket in our rental car. We're like, oh man, we were just screaming because you cannot expense tickets.
$10.
Yeah, the ticket was like $12. We just laughed. We just like tore it up. You're like, whatever. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Well, what are we doing here today other than talking about avocado toast?
It's pretty good. We're picking the best hardware, best other stuff of the year, mostly hardware though.
Yeah. It's all hardware. We're not talking about any software.
Adam has coined it nerdies, folks.
The nerdies.
So it works like this. We throw out our nominations and then we debate it. You can also debate your pick to hate on it, or you can agree for what we think is the best of the year. Vendors get all excited until they find out it's us. Then they're like, "Oh, sorry."
Well, in the past, we've had some of these episodes end or the categories be the tiebreaker was the audience. So be sure to chime in.
Right.
So sometimes we might have to go to the audience to settle the debate. But
a couple years ago, Gordon almost cried over the CPU choice.
Yeah.
No, I was just making the argument.
That's pretty good.
I think it would have been kind of cool because it would have been the height of hubris, But all
right,
I'm going to pick one like that this year. You can complain all you want. I don't care. It's not going to change how I think. Go ahead and try to change it, Internet. Are we on this one or that one? I'm not.
We're on this one because I am sitting here today.
Yeah.
Wait.
The wide one. Yep. The one with the.
This is for 2 people.
Why don't we have
this
like
is for
numbers?
3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the end of the year. Nobody can focus, folks. So, hey, but the cool thing is you're here. Remember, as always, tell your boss, I got to do some research. They're going to be talking about technology. And if I know any IT management boss, they will have no idea. You just throw out the PCWorld name, use it to help your, watching YouTube entertainment. And they go like, oh, well, my employee's watching something serious. It's PCWorld. That's a serious place. Not realizing it's us. Yes.
All right. I think we are ready. Let me hold on.
So get ready. Your nominations for best of. Disagree. Agree.
Oh, abstain. I didn't do the one thing I was supposed to do.
What's that?
Crap.
No. Oh no.
Oh, Facebook one again, isn't it?
No. The Facebook thing's already settled. I put the live intro.
Oh, if we speak Russian, we can run live on Facebook. That's just to make everybody at Facebook.
Give me 1 second to keep talking about avocado toast.
I talked to somebody at Facebook, and they were saying we were talking about people from Facebook. Facebook employees, interestingly, feel so guilty now. Like when they talk to people at the airport, and they're like, "Hey, so where do you work?" Like they work at Facebook. A lot of Facebook employees understand how angry the American public is with Facebook currently. They'll say things like, "Well, I work for the mafia. Yeah, I rub people out all day." Oh, okay, that's pretty good, right? Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, good benefits, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I have an acquaintance who works for Facebook's philanthropic arm.
What do they say they work for?
They specifically, I asked them, I said, "You work at Facebook?" He said, "Yes, but I work in the division that does all their like philanthropy kind of stuff." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Important distinction."
They would actually say that?
Yeah.
It is an important distinction. That's a pretty cool place to work, it sounds like.
No.
I mean, working for that arm that she was talking about. I'm not going to try to say it out loud.
I'm not even trying to pronounce it correctly, Brad. Like all the words I know are from reading, so I mispronounce at least like 30% of the things I try to say out loud.
Yeah, my kid makes fun of me, my high school kid, because I know all the words. I just never know how to say them either. So
I don't know. I'd probably say something like, "I work for a company. We go and pick up animals on the street, and then we kill them." Because it's just like overpopulation or something like that.
Man,
he's like,
I mean, that's rough. I mean, that's a tough job.
I pick up animals and kill them.
But I mean, you're preventing these strays from, But I'm just saying, it's bad.
From
it's
living,
bad right
you're
now.
preventing the strays from living.
Well,
all right. Well, we should.
This is all a joke from that Jackie Chan and.
I'm sorry I extended this conversation.
Dang, what is his name? Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, remember that first Rush Hour movie? He was embarrassed to work for LAPD.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My mom tells
just
me.
like that.
Yeah, I can't even.
Right.
You can't do them.
Haven't thought about it since.
What? Oh, come on, they made like 3 of them too. They're all good.
Yeah, I saw the first 2.
Yeah, they're actually all the same, but.
All right, cool.
That's a sign of a good movie series when you go. They're all the same, but I enjoyed all.
They're all the same. Yeah, not bad.
Formula's good.
Not like
Not
Indiana Jones or something like that, or
God,
Godfather.
Don't even. Well, I'm ready. Let's get this started.
Ready now?
Yeah, we're ready.
Hey, before we start,
yes.
I have almost 2 hours, but I have to be out of here by 12:20 your time.
Okay. Well, we're going to make this quick.
I have to be out of here by noon our time.
Everybody's going to agree with what I have to say. Everybody's going to
Yeah.
agree. I know this.
All right. Let's do it.
Hey, welcome to the Full Nerd episode.
No, don't start there.
Where are we starting?
We're starting at the very beginning.
You're right. Damn it. It's not highlighted in yellow here. In this episode of the Full Nerd, the best of the year. That's really easy.
Yep, this will be a good one.
Welcome to the Full Nerd, episode 79. I'm your host, Gordon Ma Ung, with co-host Brad Charkis.
Internet.
And Elena Yee is joining us, as always.
I'm back.
And Adam Patrick Murray controlling the vertical and the horizontal.
We are here to give some awards for the best PC hardware of 2018. So I'm excited for it. Yeah, the nerdies, as we've liked to dub it.
Oh,
as Adam likes to.
I was saying we is actually Adam.
As Adam liked to dub it. And real quick, we got a question straight up from Rusty Shackelford. He said, "What are the stipulations of this best PC hardware awards?"
Do we have stipulations?
Gordon, do we have stipulations?
It's what we like.
We just pick things.
Yeah.
We just throw stuff out that we think is worthy.
Yeah, tell people how this is going to work.
So we all have our lists. We check them twice. We will make our nominations to what we think should be the best of in each category. The crowd will then make fun of us and yell at us like Brad or Elena. We can just crap on their choices, and then we can agree someone wins or loses.
And just to further refine it, this is not PCWorld's best of. This is the Full Nerd's best of. This is just what's relevant to us. The discussions we've had, the things we've built this year. So we're not going to take into account the whole marketplace because we haven't touched the whole marketplace.
Yes,
but it's definitely what it means to the full nerd.
Definitely. Sorry, I'm sending a text message to somebody who wants to meet at CES. Just showed me a cool illustration. Can't tell you about it.
Wow, man, we don't even get Gordon's undivided attention.
Ooh, I can see it.
I'm trying to be younger. People say, people are making fun of my avocado toast reference earlier in the pre-roll. If you have a problem with people
making fun of it, we were just
sending
saying
text messages.
It's a little hypocritical for you.
No, it's not at all. Because if people are saying, "Oh, you're all stiff," you're too old. Then you need. I'm doing younger things. See, I'm
You're texting during the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Googling unconventional tastes.
Well, I'm going to bring up our handy dandy slide so everyone at home who's watching on video can see the awards. We got CPU, GPU, storage, case, accessory, laptop, best innovation, and worst trend. These are the categories for the 2018 Nerdies. So why don't we start?
I want to kick this off.
All right, kick this off. The best CPU of 2018.
So I'm going to nominate first pick.
Okay.
Very, very close runner-ups, though. First pick is Ryzen 7 2700X.
Okay.
Fantastic performance per buck ratio with the cooler. It's just that cherry on top, right?
It's a good cooler.
But here's the thing. I'm really, really torn as well. I'm going to throw this out. Runner up, I think seriously should be considered as well. Going to be some hate, some not hate. First, Core i7 8750H. I'm going to call these the Coffee Lakes. That was the 6-core 45-watt TDP CPU currently used in all of the gaming laptops. Fantastic CPU. I mean, I love the Core i9 in the laptop, but frankly, for most people, the i7 is where it's at. That's where you want to be. That's a fantastic CPU. 6 cores in a laptop, 45-watt TDP. And here's a controversial one, Core i9 9900K. Reason? High clock speeds, lots of cores. It's got a soldered TIM.
I mean,
why would it be controversial, though?
Yeah, because people just want to
$500
because it's expensive and there's no cooler, but it comes with a cool box.
But they told us already a couple months ago that it's the best.
It is truly the best
CPU.
gaming
so
CPU.
I mean, I think we just write this in and we're good, right?
Yeah. So I mean, really, Coffee Lake or Ryzen is really the tension point here.
I'd also kind of like to throw out there the vanilla 8700K because I know a couple people who built with those this year. That it was still a good part.
Didn't come out this year, though.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Last year.
Yeah.
Didn't come out this year.
It could still be good this year.
Go on your clock and change it 20118. Adam from 2017. Those are my nominations. Anybody want to nominate anything else?
I have another one to add to the mix that I actually think is my top pick. Like I had the 9900K in my list. I don't like the price, but I do like that Intel's got 8 cores on the desktop and it kicks ass. But for me, I think the most game-changing CPU release this year was the Ryzen 3 2200G APU.
Damn it, stole mine.
$100. I was actually thinking of your Black Friday gaming PC article when I thought of this one.
I should have gone first.
Be able to get it cheaper than ever because for the first time ever, the Radeon graphics are actually usable inside these APUs. So for $100, you get a real good quad-core processor with playable graphics on it, and I think that's huge.
Brad basically just said everything I was going to say. This is what happens when you wait to go to the front of the class to talk. Someone else does your presentation.
Yeah, sure. Or how do we know you're just saying that?
Because look, it's right here. It's right here. Look at the timestamp.
I do like all the ones Gordon said, though. That laptop one, I mean, that's a huge change in laptops, too.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of extra goodies in laptops.
I think everything that's been mentioned so far are all things that came up on my short list. And I eventually went with the 2200G because of the fact of, one, it's extremely affordable, and two, you can actually play games on it without having to have this huge qualifier after saying that.
Okay, here's my argument against. I think the 2200G was a great part, fantastic APU, but for people who are more into gaming, that's a great entry level part for people who lower cost. But I think for higher end use, for the greatness of the PC, you got to go discrete graphics, and you got to go with. I think for the greatness of the PC, it's great that a chip like the 2200G exists, that all these kids who are playing Fortnite get to build their own first PC now.
What was the eye roll for?
You can hate on it, but it's true. Fortnite is bringing a lot of kids who weren't into PC gaming to the PC.
You should celebrate that, Gordon.
Also, we have a couple nominations from the chat.
Okay.
Just to put it out there, Dewey would like to throw in the 8086K. And then I think it was Peter wanted to throw in the 2600, the Ryzen 2600, just because the price for performance.
Yeah, if this was like a whole list of the best CPUs, I think the 2600 would be there for like the best all around value kind of a deal. But
Yeah.
it doesn't really stand out for me.
So here's the thing, Gordon.
Last year, I think we did.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say last year I think we gave it to Threadripper, right? Was it Threadripper or was it Ryzen 1700X?
Man, that was 12 months ago.
I know. I'm just trying to think. If we want price or
it may have been Ryzen. It might have been Ryzen as well.
Just a price. It's really about value, what it brings to the table, what it represents, right? And I think Brad just really hit the nail on the head for me, which is it's not just that the Ryzen 3 2200G is $100. It's what you get for that $100 and what it means to the budget like end of things. Like so much of the interesting stuff tends to happen on like the higher end, and you have to have money to bring to the table in order to participate. This time you didn't have to have that much money to participate.
I was just thinking this isn't the People's Choice. This is the Academy Awards of hardware picking.
Yeah.
People's Choice.
The people matter too. You're not going to tell them all, just let them eat cake, are you?
What's that other one? The Golden Globes nobody cares
people
about?
Want bread, Gordon.
Like, oh my God. It's just terrible. Like, can you imagine that?
It was last year's episode of this where I realized as we were going through and arguing about it all, the thing that really boils it down for me, whether or not something is my pick for the most interesting, best thing this year, is if it enables new experiences. And that chip is the only chip that gives someone something new. Like the 9900K is awesome. We've had fast chips. We've had 8-core chips the past couple of years. We haven't had anything like the Ryzen 3 2200G. And that's the reason I'm getting it my vote.
But here, my argument, look, you don't impress people with a 2200G. The only thing you impress them with. Yeah, I mean, you impress them that, that's,
gave it 4 stars
pretty cheap.
Like
I don't know. It's a good. Look, I reviewed it. I thought it was fantastic. I'm just saying it's not the thing that you know, that's not the sugar you get people to come to the platform. They come for the 2700X. They come for the 900K. They come for the 87.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like cars, right? Like you'll go to like freaking Tesla showroom and look because it's awesome, but you're gonna go home and buy a Corolla.
No, well, it's actually the best. They come in to see the Corvette. They drive away in a Chevette, right? But if you didn't have the Corvette plastered all over your dealership and advertising and commercials, they're not going to come in and buy that Chevette.
That's true.
So when I think of PC gaming is about superior graphics, superior performance, all kinds of great stuff.
But here's the argument.
You're playing the cheap thing.
Here's the argument, right? Like, sure, you advertise the Corvette in the window, but if you don't have that lower end model, you're not going to get them to buy. You're just going to have people going in there to gawk, and that's it. Right? So you need your 2700Xs as much as you need something like a 2200G to get people even started in the world of PC gaming if they're not already in it.
Using my Academy Awards thing, there were some really solid movies, really well written. I mean, the acting was superb. No one cares. No one cares. They only want the spectacle, right? The spectacle, unless it's all British, that's different. But it's got to be like, you got to have the spectacle. These are the spectacle parts. The 2700X, 900K, 8750H.
They're wonderful parts. I'm not saying they're not. I just don't think it's going to have as
Adam
big
has
of a
not
splash.
chimed in yet, and so far we have 1 versus 2.
He's just enjoying it. It's like one of the rare moments, right?
I'm enjoying it along with the chat. You know, people are having fun here. For me, the 2200 is it the 2200 or 2400? Which one?
I'm going with 2200.
Okay,
see, that's just
okay. So for me, yes. I understand the argument.
Oh, we're gonna have a tie this year.
but I feel like it didn't really help me in any way.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I see.
You know, I mean, if these are the full nerd awards, you know, like we got to be, you know, a little pretentious. You know, how did it help me? So you know, I mean, I could go either way. I can definitely see your arguments, but it didn't impact me at all. Like I'm not going to game on it. I'm not going to do any video editing on it. You know, like I would never buy this thing. So I'm not super hyped about it. Personally.
Maybe we should change the category to high end. It's 2700X, 99 high end aspirational CPUs versus
I mean, it kind of really is. We're talking,
That's
very diplomatic of you.
Well, we've really come down to that because, I mean, honestly, it sounds like 9900K, 2700X is kind of interchangeable for Brad. Elaine is always about the deal, so that's not going to happen. But
2700X all the way.
Yeah,
but it sounds
I would
like
go
we're really
2700X. Yeah. If it's between those two.
I'm not agreeing to this though. I still want to vote for the 2200G.
Yeah, I also agree with you, Brad, on that. I'm just saying that if I had to pick between those two,
that's a tie. It's up to the internet then.
Oh no!
So the vote for the internet is between.
Adam hasn't voted.
The 2200. Is it between the 2200G and the 2700X? Right.
I think so, because Adam basically said he'd go 2700X.
Yeah, I'd go 2700X. I mean, 900K is impressive, but yeah. 2700X.
Price is a problem.
So let me hear in the chat. What do you think? 2700X, 2200G. While they're chiming in, I'd like to say, I mean, it's both AMD, so
they are.
AMD wins.
Yeah. So AMD wins either way.
That is good for AMD, yes. But you know what? The fact that 900K, a lot of people. I mean. Yeah, it's a good part. I don't think people would disagree. And the 8750H is an awesome CPU.
They are all good parts. Everything we've mentioned so far, all good parts.
I mean, this is a great year for CPUs, especially considering 2 years ago when we didn't give it to any CPUs.
Yeah.
I mean, it just continues to be awesome. It's interesting. The chat on Twitch is divided right now, but YouTube is definitely in the 2700X camp.
Dang it.
But we do have some people throwing in for the 2600 for some reason still.
That's not on the list, people.
Yeah, not on the list.
Man, wow.
I mean, 2700X is $220 with a cooler, isn't it?
No.
It's like
during
the sales.
It was $240 during Black Friday.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but you're not going to see it normally that price.
So
more like $270, $300 range.
Yeah, it should be, but it got really inexpensive there for a while.
No, I only got to like $240.
I mean, we
only $240 for an 8-core with a really decent RGB
Look, you're
cooler.
Talking to me.
Hey, that cooler cooler is awesome.
You're talking to me about Black Friday sales, all right? I have standards.
You can't, yeah. All right. Well, I'm just saying aspirational, high performance, pair it with a good graphics card, and that's just the things you can make fun of your console friends with. It's tough to do that with a 2200G. It's
not really, because if you build a PC for $272, I mean, you're getting pretty good performance.
I mean, it depends on what you're playing, because I mean, we played Final Fantasy 15, which is obviously overkill. We played PUBG on it. Like we played some games when we were first testing it, and it was like, I'm never going to play this.
Well, no, not for us.
Yeah.
I understand for people first getting into it on a tight budget.
Snob.
I know. I'm sorry.
About this.
This is not the People's Choice Award.
Well, it kind of is. I mean, we're kind of letting the the votes help sway us. But yeah, I mean, we're getting there's a lot of votes for the 2200G for damn sure. But I'm going to say it's probably like a 75-25 split for the 2700X in the chat.
High-end CPUs win.
The funny thing is,
and that
I
cooler.
probably would have personally voted for the 9900K over the 700X.
There are some people throwing in for that. But they're saying they just wish the price would come down.
Yeah, I know, and I agree with you, because I really do think you sort of reward that kind of like pushing the envelope, but pushing the price envelope is really what sort of takes it out of contention, I think. But I mean,
that's the record scratch moment.
If you had that, if you had the choice between somebody giving you a 9900K 2700X, you would take that 9900K all day, right? But the price, if you're paying for it.
To sum it up, the Ryzen 3 2200G was robbed.
It gets a solid runner-up.
To sum it up, AMD is going to win both ways.
AMD is the winner. 2200G got robbed.
Intel also kicked butt this year, though.
They both did.
Everyone kicked butt. It's great.
I mean, you could break it out if you want to do best laptop CPU. Of course, that's pretty damn boring, but because
we don't want to do all that.
Hey, all those leaks are true. Next year, we might actually be debating that.
That one chip is the one gaming laptop chip that you want. That's it.
All right. Well, I think it's official. I'm going to throw it up on the board. The best CPU of 2018 was the Ryzen 7 2700X.
We lost, Brad.
With a really close second, the Ryzen 2200G. And a third, a 9900K.
I think we should have best laptop CPU though. Why rob the laptop category? Especially next year.
We've got a laptop category.
We have a laptop already. There's only ever one laptop CPU that you buy.
It's all made by
whatever's
Intel.
the fastest Intel one is.
But I'm just saying I'm laying the road because if all those rumors of all those leaked Ryzen parts are true, next year is going to be interesting.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to 2019.
Yeah. 2019 is going to be fun. All right, let's.
These past few years, awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah. So let's move on to something that's probably going to be equally controversial, the GPU category.
Oh wait, this year wasn't awesome for GPUs.
So
come on, that's so negative.
My choice is going to reflect that.
Who wants to go first? I'd go first, but then everybody's going to be,
I'm going to throw this out here. I ain't going RTX.
I'm going to go first.
Of course you're going to go RTX. Of course he's going to go RTX.
Because you guys are a bunch of wusses. It is best GPU of the year is the RTX 2080 Ti, suckers.
I concur.
What about RTX Titan?
That's my vote too. The 2080 RTX 2080 Ti.
What?
Because it was a pretty crap year in general for CPUs. Between the cryptocurrency prices driving everything through the roof. Other than that, we have the AMD Radeon 590, which whatever, it's another 580 that costs a little bit more. AMD and NVIDIA both released crappier versions of existing GPUs. Really, RTX is the only new stuff. And like I was arguing with the 2200G, the 2080 Ti lets you do stuff that you couldn't do before. You couldn't power those G-Sync HDR 4K 144 hertz frames. You can with the 2080 Ti, and it does ray tracing. So the cost is a bummer, but what it does is all right.
Yeah, well, the chat, there's a lot of people in the chat saying do not give it to the 20 series.
Wait, I had a runner-up, but I realized it's disqualified clearly because it's RX 580, which is RX 480. So it came out like 3 years ago.
You have to pick 590 for something this year.
I guess I'd have to pick 590 then.
The 580 was last year.
Yeah,
well,
so
I know, but the
year.
580 is just a 480, right?
Yeah.
So
and so is the 590 is just a 580.
It's got a new number,
wait. So yeah, so what are our actual options?
Brad.
Like what did come out this year? I don't even know.
RTX.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that.
Well, okay. So here's my pick. I'm gonna go third. My pick. No one said it had to be discrete graphics.
2200G. Oh! I can get behind this. I can get behind this.
The Vega 8 because Vega 8 paired with the 2200 in that 2200G made it possible to do things like build the $272
Okay. I can get behind this.
Oh wait! All right. If we want to do something like that, KB Lake G.
Now I know how Gordon felt last segment.
How about KB Lake G?
That was actually so. Here was my list. So my list was Vega 8, KB Lake G, and then the RTX 2080 Ti.
Look, I'm with Brad though. Look, it gives you it enables something new. It moves the ball down the field, right?
I agree with all of that.
Not in a way that anybody likes. It's
I agree
one of those
with
like
all of that.
Botched official calls that move, whatever. It's the wrong call on the field, but it gets you down the field.
I agree with all of that. I just feel like not enough of what they told you to expect from it materialized this year. I don't like waiting for things to come about. We talked about this when it first released, whereas with the Vega parts, the Vega 8 and even the Vega 11, KB Lake G, like that is stuff you realize now. That is performance you get right now.
Well, the reason that I picked the 2080 Ti isn't for the stuff that's promised that doesn't happen, because I don't believe in betting on promises. It's because it can do 4K 144 hertz displays. It does do stuff now that you couldn't do 6 months ago.
I don't disagree with that. I just feel like the hype is what turned me off on picking it.
And the price.
The price. It's like it's just so skewed. Like I've basically just taken the opposite end of the scale from you guys.
That's hard. I like that a whole lot.
There is a couple people throwing in the chat that I really wish we could vote for 1080 Ti for GPU of the year, because that would make sense for us. I mean, really, like for me, I came into this saying this should be nobody won this year. Like one of those kind of things, because I was just like, it wasn't a great year for GPUs.
We have brand new technology that DirectX ray tracing is a real thing. This is not just an NVIDIA technology.
Yeah, of course.
We are moving down. We are seeing something new.
Yeah, but
4K,
we didn't.
144 hertz screens too. DirectX ray tracing. HDR, G-Sync HDR monitors. I mean, it is all new actual stuff that you can use.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, for that price, and if I'm going to make it a selfish thing too, there's no chance in hell I'm buying an RTX for that money.
What was that movie that won last year?
He's like, I'll get a 9900K, but I'm not getting an RTX.
Yeah, what's up with?
No, I picked 2700X.
What was that movie? Something water?
What? Oh,
Wait,
the fish in water.
Shape of water.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it was like, what the hell is this? How is this the best movie kind of thing? Like, let's just pick something. You gotta pick. You gotta. Sometimes
you have to pick the love story that makes no
things
sense.
that are stupid expensive. It costs money to go far. I mean,
see, the difference between this and the CPUs a couple years ago to me is with the Intel CPU, the 10-core CPU a couple years ago, it was just 2 more cores. It wasn't really doing much else. It was 2 more cores, and they increased the price like 70% or something like that for those 2 cores.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This one costs a lot. Yes, it is greatly costs more than his predecessor. But it's actually doing new stuff. It's not just 2 more cores. It's a bunch of extra stuff. It's a bunch more performance. It's unlocking new things.
I mean, I'm willing to change my vote, but I feel like that should be like RTX 2080 Ti asterisk. Like we had no other real choices.
We're not shopping for good deals here. We're picking the best. Best.
But I'm not talking about even deals. Like, so yes, on my first 2 choices, I definitely went with the people's choice, as you call it. But I am sensitive to that side of the equation. I think you can be enthusiast and not necessarily always be about high end. It's easy to always be about high end, but sometimes being enthusiast just means being excited for stuff that changes things.
Yeah, but using Brad's argument, which I do find valid, it is something new. This is not like they made a 1080 Ti.
I like how he only uses your argument when it suits him.
Yeah. It's not like they made a 1080 Ti, right? Just like plus where you get like, oh, it's 40% more performance than a 1080.
I already just said that I'm willing
new.
to change my vote, and you're still telling me I'm wrong.
Yeah, but you haven't changed your vote. You say you're willing to.
So Tech with Sean is saying, by that same exact logic, wouldn't you guys nominate the Titan RTX? RTX Titan. I mean,
I haven't seen one
all
yet.
The stuff,
yeah.
all the same stuff applies.
It's not a consumer part, so
we don't necessarily have to go consumer.
Sure.
Right?
I do think it's crazy. That's even more crazy. But I just think I think people just crapped all over RTX here, probably for the wrong reasons. I mean, it was.
A lot of the right reasons.
I don't think so. I think people, because a lot of the arguments I heard from people were like, oh, why don't they should just come out with this when it's ready? Yeah. What the hell? Has anybody ever done this before? It never just like, it's not like it's like, oh my gosh, it's January 21st. You get this nice package with a bow on it. Oh, now we have ray trace games and brand new hardware supported. It never, ever comes that way. Look at, we had quad core CPUs forever that never it's like 99.9% of software and the OS didn't even support the damn things for anything. So, but you had to be there, you had to get there first. So that's why I think people crapping all over for that was just ridiculous.
Well, I think the fact that it's the pricing and the fact that non-ray tracing performance didn't get moved ahead at the same prices. So you spend you spend $500 on now gets you the same as last year, but with ray tracing.
Well,
so I get that. And that's why I think the 2080 Ti is the pick and not any of the other ones, even though if a normal person comes up to me and says, hey, which one of these should I get? In a vacuum, I'd probably say, the 2070 is pretty good. But the 2080 Ti is the only thing that you couldn't buy something like this last year.
Well, and I honestly would say that the 2080 Ti is exactly what, if somebody's going to go out and buy a $1,200 video card, it's not like us and our 2200 Gs, right? They're like, hey, it's a different thing. To them, that kind of person, they don't really. It's not really. It's not an issue for enthusiasts. That's. I mean, you got to realize there's a class of people, and you can hate on them all you want. That is like, oh, it's $1,200. Give me 2, right? Because that's what I like. That's what I live for. That's high end. They want the bleeding edge.
I do love the 2200G pick. That was the surprise that made me laugh real good.
I thought you guys would have predicted it. No way.
Yeah, I know.
Like, knowing me.
I think I would have picked. Well, KB Lake G was pretty. I mean, but that's another mobile. So the mobile parts get kind of get the short shrift here, but.
All right, Adam, how do you feel about this?
I really don't want to give it to RTX, but I mean, if I'm,
well, you're in the no.
Voted, it's fine.
We have a no, and we have a
no.
no. It's tied again.
It's tied again. The thing is that if you leave it to the chat, it's not going to win.
Well, no, you'd be surprised. There's plenty of people in that, but I thought you said you were on the fence.
I said I was willing to change my vote.
But she hasn't.
For like a $5 bill.
See?
No.
So I'm willing to, but I haven't. That's why I'm still arguing. But no, go ahead. I think we put it out again. I think it's controversial.
Put it out.
Go with your heart. Elena, I know you don't want to it's too much money. Like, no, I want to break with the money. So, Adam.
But there are still some votes for me saying no winner, that we should award it to nobody.
What's the overall?
Okay, let's do it. Let's put it out there.
Well, right now it's 2200G gets 1 vote. 2080 Ti gets 2 votes. Adam hasn't put nothing. So you got to pick. If you don't pick the 2200G,
I would pick 2200G. I like Elena's. Yeah, just to keep this going.
All right, last arguments. No, we can make our last arguments.
Actually, no. Okay. To be fair, I did come into this saying a no vote.
But you changed your mind.
I know. You're right.
Adam. It's this is just like our federal government. You can just be. You can mess with people. You can go. You can then side with Elena. And then we can go.
Okay, I'll side with Elena. There we go.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So there's 3 options then. No, just 2.
There's 2 options.
Yeah,
2200G.
Because a lot of chat is saying no winner. Oh man.
Wait. I'm gonna So
I think both of those could be valid choices for winner. I don't think
they're
there's
good.
No winner.
Yeah, they're good choices. All right. So yeah, the
last argument. Last argument.
We already know. RTX 2080 Ti or Ryzen 2200G. Put it in the chat now. And you while they're doing that, give your last arguments.
But I'm just going to point out that I make the full nerd posts that appear on the website that says PCWorld staff with me. So I'll take if you don't pick the right answer, I'll take your response in consideration when I'm making that vote.
He'll change it.
Nice.
We strenuously disagree.
I'm not even sure what the thread is.
I will put the 2080 Ti no matter.
I was like, are you just going to erase us from the show?
It's going to Photoshop you out with a picture and everything. I'm just saying you got to respect somebody going for the gold.
You
got to reward that.
If we do not,
I'm talking, Senator. I have the floor, Senator. If you do not reward vendors going for the gold, AMD with Threadripper, NVIDIA with ray tracing, then where's the PC if we only go for low cost, low budget, right?
8 years of quad cores, that's where it is.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of that was because there was nothing that supported it. Nothing that supported it. But we had the people who bought those quad core CPUs are the ones that basically floated all of the innovation that now enabled people to have multi-threaded games and multi-threaded applications. People should be, even if you don't want ray tracing, you don't want a 2000 series card, you should be applauding the people who are putting their bodies and their money out on that beach to get you to the next.
Oh, come on.
They're crawling inches
Are you
down the
Churchill
field.
Or are you in Parliament?
No, I'm just saying that you gotta those people that are buying all the stuff, and they are buying it. They're the ones enabling it for the cheapskates like us later on when we buy it 3 years from now. So I think it's
this is really close. But it looks like the 2200G. It's like 60-40. 2200G, but there's still a contingent saying no win.
No win.
Yeah, so it's
no win is not the answer.
Those third-party voters.
I know those third-party voters pulling out. If I'm going to gauge the temperature of the room, it looks to be in the favor of the 2200G.
Lowest common denominator is what got us integrated graphics and stagnant PC gaming.
But the people who love the 2080 Ti are definitely into the 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Looks like we have a winner.
Wait, how do we even know?
I really wanted it in the last category. I didn't want it in this category.
Yeah, that is a close one. It is a close one. Yeah.
Wait, let me go in the chat. I can vote there too.
We may actually have to count the vote on this one.
Yeah. Give me a second.
I don't think we should ballpark this one.
Yeah.
I would be okay with ties go to the B editor.
I'm actually okay with that too.
I don't mind the Ryzen pick either. I think it's wrong, but I don't mind. I agree with all the things.
You think it should have been the 9900K?
No.
I didn't even need closing arguments apparently, but I'll just say that I agree with everything that you said, Gordon. The thing is that I think it's rare for people on the extreme opposite end of the scale to get any kind of bone really thrown to them. And this was something that was made just for them. It wasn't that it just had this trickle-down effect. It was the first time in a while I've seen them actually put something out there that budget gamers didn't have to scrape together from the bottom of the barrel.
Well, Vega cores were created from cores and IP created for discrete, right? For the high end.
Right, but no one had to sit down and actually say, how can we reform this for the actual very bottom tier?
But it wouldn't exist except for the high end.
All right, yeah, it's official. 2200G by at least 10 votes. So
really,
wow.
Yep.
I wonder how many of those were no voters who decided to throw their weight.
There are still no voters. There's still some 1080 Ti votes in there.
I like that. The best GPU of the year is the Ryzen 3 2200.
If
nothing else, so to get people to listen to the podcast.
Right. All right, let me I'm doing
Sorry,
this. I'm doing this real sloppy, but
I'm trying real hard not to just grimace.
That's okay.
Because I really do. I don't mind the pick. I like the pick, but I just can't. I'm just grimacing. I'm trying not to grimace.
we like to be unconventional here. So yeah, the 2018 nerdy for GPU goes to the Ryzen 3 2200G with its Vega 8 graphics. Cool.
Oh God.
All right, that was fun. That was.
I never thought I would actually pull this off. Thanks, Internet.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
This is what politics must be like in other countries.
No,
Probably,
Adam.
right?
It's okay for Adam to change his mind.
Yeah.
It means It means he probably has got some controversial pick later on, and then you vote for what he wants because that's the way it works.
Exactly. Yeah, I do have something somewhere, but for now, let's move on to storage. Which will probably not be as hotly debated.
My pick is very non-controversial.
Yeah, put it out there. Let's do it.
The Western Digital Black PCIe NVMe drive, M.2 drive. That is my pick for storage of the year. Not any particular capacity, just the line.
It's good.
My pick is price is going down.
Oh, come on.
That's it. To me, that's the driving story behind SSDs this year. You can afford them in great capacities, very cheap.
You can't buy that, though.
Those quad level SSDs started coming out. They look pretty good. I could say, the Samsung 860 QVC. That's cool. A lot of capacity, cheap, works pretty good. But to me, the best thing about storage this year is that it's cheap now.
Technically, Gordon, you can buy it. You can buy all of it.
No, let me just say, you don't go to the store and say, "Give me prices lower on SSD," and they'll be like, "Hold on, security, please come to the front." All right, here's my pick: ADATA XPG, and of course, it's just hot off the presses. We just reviewed this last week. ADATA XPG SX 8200 Pro. Oh boy, that really rolls off the tongue. Reason is it's a TLC drive that is performing on par with the 970 Pro-ish without the price. I was looking.
Wait, what was the part number?
It's the ADATA XPG X-Ray Papa Golf.
Oh, okay.
SX 8200 Pro.
Did that review just come out today for us?
Last week.
Last week, okay.
Just fresh out, and it was. I just checked the prices as of today on Amazon. It was like $200 for a terabyte, a 970 Pro performance, pretty damn close, and a 970 Pro 1 terabyte was up $400.
The chat. There's a lot of picks for the MX500 and the Samsung 970 Evo.
Yeah.
So those would like to be thrown in there as well.
Well, one of the reasons I went with Western Digital Black over the 970 Evo is that performance on the Western Digital is actually a little bit better, at least by our marks.
And it tends to be cheaper.
Yeah.
So that's win-win.
Yep.
Yeah, this is just all about cost here, right? I mean,
well, cost and performance.
Yeah. You're going to pick Optane memory?
Just in general, prices being down. No, that's genuinely my vote. But between those two, realistically, I'd probably buy the Western Digital Black. But I think my vote would go to the A-Data thing because it does give you so much performance for so much less than the only other option for that right now.
Never have so many SSDs given you so much performance.
And
so little.
And the chat likes the idea of prices being everyone winning storage. I know. But other than that, there's a lot of people who hadn't heard about that A-Data one that they're
it's not as big a brand as WD. I mean, they're both really great drives, but I think the way people build is they build two, right? You do your XPG 512 gig for your main boot drive, and then you use your WD Black for your capacity storage drive. If God, that would be nice to have a system.
There's a couple
like
people
that.
throwing in their NVMe M.2. Just that general category as the winner.
It's compatible with motherboards now, so they're picking up a little bit more because all Ryzen and recent Intel support them. That's relatively new. It only started 2 years ago, so they're starting to become more popular.
Yeah, but for the most part, NVMe PCIe has been out for a while, so. Mm-hmm. So do we have there's no consensus pick there?
I am willing to change my vote.
I'm fine for A-Data.
Yeah, I'm willing to change my vote.
I'm down for that.
But people listening, the real winner is that prices came down.
Yes.
Seriously, go buy an SSD right now if you've been waiting.
Dude, 512 gigabyte Intel, like 545S SSD, like SATA SSD. $55 last week.
That's one of our runner-up picks for SSDs actually. And it's
I know.
$55.
Well, isn't that the best for GPU then? Because suddenly 580s and 6 gig 1080s were like $250.
A couple years ago, the 481 for us, it happens.
But the prices being down, that's
no, like prices coming back down to a semi-reasonable level from the fact they got inflated is not a trend that I want to reward anything for this year.
Oh, you mean like recommending people buy a 1080 Ti instead of a 2080?
Look, I'm pragmatic.
It's still good. Yeah.
For $700.
Now's a good time to buy hardware.
When I recommended that, it was not $700.
All right, what's the model number on this A-Data?
A-Data XPG.
XPG.
I don't think it's going to fit.
S Sierra X X-Ray 8200 Pro.
Come on.
Sound like we're landing a plane here.
See, that's the reason.
Oh boy,
Companies, give your things names that people can say and remember. That's all you got to do.
It's like, there should be a rule. It's just too many. What the heck? Yeah.
Is that a Taiwanese
the
company?
The HP Spectre? Yeah, I know both of those. How about the A-Data XPG jumble of numbers?
It's a Taiwanese company. Right. They have a habit of doing that.
You know what's funny, though, is we're going to break a little bit here, but like motherboards, I remember way back I was reviewing Foxconn motherboards because Foxconn is a huge company that make motherboards for everybody, a lot of OEMs. And they started making their own consumer-based motherboards. And my main complaint was hey, I don't understand these model numbers. Like, it really was like 678978P XE. Like, that's your model number? Like, how are people going to that was like the name. And then at that point, even though Asus and MSI and Gigabyte, they sort of had a similar thing, they had been doing the same patterns over and over and over again. They would just change the numbers for the chipset. 965 and then 975, but it made sense. But there's just nothing but numbers.
Yep. Okay. Don't miss those days.
Cool story.
Dang, you are savage today, Adam.
I'm so tired. Yeah, I need some caffeine. All right, I'll flash up the screen. The 2018 Nerdy for best storage goes to the ADATA XPG SX 2200 Pro.
I like that the font is tiny in order to fit the words.
I had to shrink it.
No runner-ups. We don't even get the runner-ups when I'm getting listed. That sucks.
All right, whatever. All right, let's move on to case. I know Brad has some picks.
Yeah,
I got one. I tested several this year, 5 or 6 different ones, including like the new Fantex. I'm looking at them off screen. Fantex Evolve X. But for me, my favorite case is one that I reviewed right at the beginning of the year, around March, I think. The NZXT H500, which is a $70 case with tempered glass side, and it's just set up beautifully like a dream. It's full of premium features, RGB lights, awesome cable routing, a bar to hide your cables. It's just like everything you could ask for in a case. Functionally, it looks great, and it's only $70, which prices have come down in cases a little bit this year, but that's a lot of value for your money at $70.
That's a really good price.
And I actually, as I'm tinkering in my larger GPU test system these days, I'm like, man, I wish I had built this in the NZXT H500 instead. And that's how I know that that's my pick.
Is it a glass? Is it glass? Tempered glass?
It has a tempered glass side, yep, with like a real awesome, that way the hinge works on it. Like, it's impossible to drop it out and break it like you do most tempered glass panels. It's great. Like I said, I also had the Fantex Evolve X. It's good. I have the original Enthoo Evolve, I believe it's called, the predecessor to that. And the new Fantex case is, I think, better than this case that I spent my own $200 on. But I think the NZXT case is just the pitch perfect blend of price and performance.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's a great case. I love that one. There's a lot of people in chat saying the Leon Lee PC011, I think.
Yeah.
I have not seen this one before, but
I haven't tested it.
There's a lot of people.
Is that the dual?
Excited about that one.
That's the one I think Der Bauer helped design. I think it was Der Bauer.
Is it still classic Leon Lee though? No,
it looks different from normal Leon Lee. It's actually pretty good. I just haven't tried it, so.
I just wonder. One of the issues I've had with Leon Lee is they're very fixed in their ways. They like lots of little tiny screws everywhere. I was
going to say, so many screws.
I don't know if they've changed that with this, but I know they've been pretty resistant to it. So, in the past,
but then again, they make cases that look like cruise ships and spiders. So.
True.
Built into standing.
They have some gorgeous cases, and I always make this mistake where I get sucked in by the looks, and then when I'm screwing in like the 16th freaking screw to put on my side panels, I'm like, why did I choose this again?
Yeah. Well, and I think the other issue is sometimes you get these, hey, we're going to use a Allen head, right? Hex head, because it looks cool, but it really is a pain to use. Of these, I've seen the Evolve X up close, and it's really a monster case. But I gotta say, I like the way the NZXT looks, and I like the cost.
Yeah,
$70 is like, that's pretty good.
Gordon,
I'm totally down for NZXT.
What is happening? Is he just toying with our emotions?
No, I do like I just like the aesthetics of it. Something about the Evolve X, which I think it's definitely a better. It'll take a lot more hardware, and the design of it's pretty crazy, but
well,
I'm not that much into the aesthetics.
Quick question for you, Brad. So when we were building in the H700 there, which is the Nuka-Cola case behind us, we found that the shroud for the power supply is not removable, and Gordon was very displeased about that, shall we say. Is the H500 similar? I assume it would be, since it's all the same H line.
I forget, to be honest. Yeah, it's just a solid bottom. Yeah, so.
It's a smaller version of that.
Turned away from me.
So Gordon, keep that in mind when you make your vote. You were very displeased.
I personally, I like that look. I don't mind the fact that the shroud's not removable. I like the nice clean look at the bottom of the case. So.
I like it too, but I mean, I was building in Cooler Masters. Was it H500P or whatever the case is over there? And that one actually, I think you can remove parts of the shroud. So
yeah, I have the Corsair 570X over here, and it has a removable power shroud, supply shroud, and that's real handy. But it didn't bother me that the NZXTs was not removable.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is no fun to do. And as far as case design goes, in the old days, yeah, that you did want to have access to everything. But if you're only building it one time, it's not going to kill you.
I'll keep that in mind next time you get upset with me. That
no, I mean, but it is as somebody who, if you had to build 20 in that case all day, like if you worked at a system builder, you'd be like, oh man, this cow.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying, I'm just tucking this one in my pocket for later.
Yeah, no. Yeah. But I mean, I do think like a lot of it's. I think people get a little carried away these days with their. Well, I mean, everybody wants a case for different purposes, just to pack tons of hardware in, or they may want certain fan controls of that. For me, at this point, it's really about the aesthetics, especially because it's so much about modern PCs today. It's about aesthetics. In the old days, you could just have it messy as hell. Nobody cared, right? But now it has to be like super clean, and I just like that. NZXT is like a Bit Phoenix to me, sort of.
Yeah, very, very sleek.
I like the design, so I would vote if I had to pick between those three. I would go with the NZXT case.
NZXT.
Actually, I haven't really built on a lot of the cases from this year, so my pick was not necessarily a pick, but more of I really wish I got a chance to build in that at some point, and it's NZXT line. So it's not the H500, it's the H200i. It's the little mini ITX version of that case, basically.
That thing looks awesome too.
I know. It's really rare to get a mini ITX case that has like that kind of same sleek look as the bigger cases. So that's one of the reasons why I caught my eye. But it's a lot more expensive. It's like $130. So you're paying that mini ITX premium. So I'm more than happy to throw my vote in for the H500.
That was easy.
That was really easy. No controversy there. Anybody disagree?
I mean, we got people who love the Lian Li Fantex Evolve X. But generally people like NZXT.
I really like the Fantex Evolve X too. Like I said, it's sitting right there. I have it. I just prefer the NZXT.
Not a fan of that chin looks, like, or whatever you want to call it, the forehead and the chin. Like, I feel like that's starting to look a little outdated.
They've done a lot of cool things in the back to hide all the stuff in the back. Which I really like kind of accordion style hinge doors to hide everything. And
the French door thing that we saw in the Corsair case.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have that kind of stuff in the back, and I really like that. I like seeing stuff like that because, like Gordon was saying, I do like aesthetics and cases and stuff, but I still prefer the NZXT.
So it's just NZXT H500. Is that the part?
Yes.
Number? All right. Well,
we reviewed the I. I'm voting for the 500 non-I though. The I just adds like a lighting controller hub and an RGB strip. I prefer the $70 basic version.
Cool. All right. I'm flashing it up. The 2018 Nerdy goes to the NZXT H500 for best case of the year. Moving right along.
Runner-up 2200G.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah. Should have just made the best CPU and the best GPU.
I was trying, obviously, for my picks.
It's a good chip. I'm just saying.
Look, I won in the most unexpected place, so I'm not going to question it.
It's a good one. It's a good one. All right. Then let's move on to Accessory, which if you remember last year we actually gave it to 2. The AE5 and the headphones. What were those headphones? Our top rated headphones, the $100 ones. Yeah, HyperX Cloud. Yeah.
That's right. I didn't ping Hayden to see what his nominations were for headphones, but I have one for Accessory. It's like 2 years in a row, I guess, maybe, but if it wins. But the Creative Lab Super X-Fi. Of course, I know Brad and Elena have not had experience with it, but it is a very impressive piece of audio hardware. We're still doing our damn review, but it's the USB-C dongle. It's the USB-C dongle that is, well, we don't want to. Do I want to?
No. Yeah, people get it.
People get it. We've already talked enough about it.
Yeah, it's good, especially for audio nerds like us.
My pick is another audio device, but it's not that.
Okay.
Hayden reviewed this earlier this year and loved it. Called it the first truly useful RGB hardware around. The Logitech G560 RGB speakers. So you take these speakers, you put them next to your monitor, and it has RGB LEDs on the front and the back. And in the back, they're set up in a way to illuminate all around your PC. And it monitors the four corners of your screen. So while you're gaming or watching videos or doing whatever you got to do, the wall around you changes to match the colors of what's going on your screen. So it's kind of like, the poor man's, what was it, Microsoft Illuma Room, I think they called it a few years ago. Razer also did something with the idea of there's a projector extending your screen out. This is kind of the same idea, but integrated right into speakers, the gaming speakers that you set up right on your desk. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot less mess and fuss than actually having to do lighting strips, too.
Mm-hmm. That's my pick. Because Hayden, he reviews a lot of RGB stuff, but he's not a big RGB fan.
Nope.
He dumped all over the Razer Firefly, for example. So for him to call this the first truly useful RGB hardware and he's in love with it, that alone is good enough for me.
Wow. I'm surprised.
Nice.
I mean,
Gordon's face.
No, I love RGB. I just didn't think that changing the background color makes that much of a difference.
He says it makes it much more immersive. Like if you're sitting there playing Battlefield and, all around just matching the explosion over here, the dark alley over here, it's much more immersive.
Huh.
So a quick question, though, because I don't recall that review for whatever reason. I guess my brain's just on strike right now. You said they're speakers?
Yeah, they're little round speakers, $200 for the pair.
How do they perform as speakers? Well enough, I assume?
Good, not great. He said if you're looking for audio quality and you have $200 to spend and you don't care about RGB LEDs, then there are other speakers you'd probably want to get over this.
Fair.
But for the whole package, he likes this.
Fair. All right. I'm deciding because obviously my pick's not going to win. And my pick was really a joke more than anything else.
The Ryzen 2200G.
It's a great accessory. You can make it a fidget spinner.
No, my pick, and this is a complete joke. This is my way of saying I don't really know what to pick this year. My pick was the Leon Lee RGB motherboard power cable thing.
Yes.
Oh, you mean the combs?
Nice.
No, not the combs. The actual
the RGB power strip. Yeah.
So your 24-pin power cable, it's actually just fully RGB. Just looks like basically Rainbow Bright threw up on your motherboard. It's great.
But it's not it's not the cable you run on the outside, right? It's
the cable itself.
It's inside.
Oh, really?
It's an extension cable for the end. It goes behind your motherboard and whatnot.
Huh. Okay.
That was a complete joke, though. So
What about the fake RGB
I love
RAM?
it.
That's a different category.
Well, of all of these,
that's an accessory.
All of these, I don't know. I would say the Super X5 is the one that you would be most happy with. I think for actual.
Okay.
If you're not
my pitch.
If you're not an audio nerd, though, like what do you really get out of it? It sounds like to me it's really just for audio nerds. Right?
I wouldn't say that because I think it's.
I would say also anyone gaming with headphones.
Gaming with
even
headphones,
if you're not an audio nerd, you
there.
totally.
Okay.
With the positional audio is pretty effective. Adam's been doing a lot of that, and you plug it into your phone, USB-C. Sorry, iPhone people, and it does work quite a bit. I mean, if you just listen to music, it makes a difference, big difference. Sometimes a huge difference, and then sometimes I'll just switch it off, which you hit with a button.
I've mostly been just gaming with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm totally fine with that winning. I just wanted to put mine out there.
Ditto.
I haven't tried it, so I can't talk about it.
Okay.
So a couple things, sorry, I'm going to be selfish again. For me, it was mostly Razer products, funny enough.
Really?
Yeah, like the what is it? The new optomechanical switches, the Huntsman Elite. I actually really liked that keyboard.
Only because of the colors, right?
No. I like those purple switches and that wrist rest. is really nice and padded and thick.
And RGB.
And RGB. The wrist rest RGB is really nice. Also, I don't know if it's this year, but Hayden also dropped off the Razer Naga Trinity, which like you can customize the thumbs, all the buttons. Like you
that's
have
the one
different
that has
layouts.
Like 20 buttons, right?
Well, that's one of the sides. You can swap it out for the traditional 2, swap out for like a MOBA 12, and then you can swap out for like a circle. Or no, I'm sorry, the circle's for MOBAs, the 12 is for MMOs. And I was putting video editing hotkeys on the circle one, the MOBA one, and oh man, that was nice. But I mean, I wouldn't give it the win here. But I've been liking Razer stuff. Also, the Razer Phone 2 is a good accessory for your gaming PC.
So which are you nominating then?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily one of them, because I don't think any one of them could win, but I would totally be down on the Super X-Fi. Obviously, like I can't imagine a future of me not using that to play PC games on, personally. So, especially because, there was somebody in the chat earlier when I mentioned that the AE5 won last year. They said that Creative should be disqualified until they fix their drivers. Guess what? Super X-Fi don't need no drivers.
Yeah, that's
it's
a
just
nice
plug
thing.
and play. So, like if you're worried about Creative drivers, that kind of eliminates it, and it's something you get to take with you on the go, on your gaming laptop, on your gaming tower. No more PCIe cards or breakout boxes. Obviously, it doesn't work with speakers. Well, I mean, yeah. So it's mostly just for people who are going to game on headphones, but that's mostly what I do on my PC anyway. So
90% people playing games on PC these days are headphones. So
yeah.
I know you guys love it. I'm totally down for that winning.
I threw my vote on that direction too. So sorry, Adam. No
well, we
reason
already
for
had
you.
2 out of, and you guys you have a split vote anyway, so we win by default.
Wait, what split vote?
You were voting for RGB color rainbow cables, and Brad picked RGB speakers.
I thought he had voted for Razer though.
Did he? No, he just said.
I have been liking a lot of Razer stuff.
Oh, I
this
see.
year.
That was your
So,
vote.
yeah. So I just want to put. I don't think the Huntsman Elite is like the best keyboard out there.
Got it. Okay.
But,
Obviously, I'm not paying attention.
But you like those optical switches? It makes you that much better.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Like the.
Oops, sorry,
I can't even make a joke. Yeah, no, it's not.
What?
It's not a huge deal, especially for me. I'm not like a high level player anyway. So. See, I'm fine with going with the Super X-Fi.
Oh, that's a hot category.
If everyone's down.
Nobody's going to argue about this for the next 10 minutes.
There's a lot of people thrown in. I mean, this one's hard because it encompasses
so
everything.
So much stuff.
Yeah, there's some people saying, "Hey, can we say a monitor or
BFGD?"
Yeah, there we go. BFGD.
I forgot about G-Sync HDR.
G-Sync
I love
HDR,
G-Sync HDR.
gaming chairs.
But it's $2,000, so.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, it came out this year, right?
It did. I think if money was no object, personally, I would buy a G-Sync HDR monitor over the Sound Blaster card. Because HDR 144 hertz 4K is magical. It's real good. Especially if you combine it with a 2080 Ti.
Oh, Brad, and your 2080 Ti with a high-end CPU,
$3,000,
like a 2700X or 9900K.
If you're going to spend that much money, you may as well just get the 9900K.
Well, and you're also going to get the speakers with the LED, and you're going to get the Super X-Fi for audio. Damn, that's one hell of a nice.
I forgot about G-Sync HDR. I like G-Sync HDR a lot. I'll still let you guys have. I'm not gonna put in a formal thing. I'm gonna let you guys have the Sound Blaster, but G-Sync HDR, that's what I'm talking about. I'm all about it.
It's that good though, huh?
Whiskey Omega on Twitch says, "I feel sorry for Brad's wallet."
His imaginary wallet.
Yeah.
He's gonna pair with that 2200G though, so. Yeah.
There's somebody in Twitch chat. I can't find it earlier. Northern Tech Hermit says the Stream Deck. And then somebody else said the 4K Elgato capture card.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of cool fun stuff. Hey, what about? And if Hayden were here, maybe he'd give it to the Vortex. The Whirlwind FX Vortex.
Yeah, baby.
If you haven't watched that video, look for Vortex on PCWorld's YouTube channel. That's a hilarious video. But yeah. All right. Are we cool with Super X-Fi then?
Yeah.
All right. Good job, Creative.
Still got.
I really like G-Sync HDR.
G-Sync's,
but yeah,
G-Sync HDR.
Maybe we should add a monitor category, but oh well.
Maybe next year. So the 2018 Nerdy Accessory is the Creative Super X-Fi. Thank you for all the fellow audio nerds out there. We love it. So this is another kind of broad one, but laptop. Best laptop.
This is like mainstream too, right?
Well,
Not just gaming laptops.
I can't remember what we came up with last year, but I think it was all encompassing, right? Not just gaming.
I hope so, because that's my pick. Is very mainstream.
Yeah, that's fine.
You want to go?
Sure. It's not very exciting, but
2200G.
No, I picked the HP X360 Spectre X360. I forget which order it goes in.
X360. 13T?
13, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So they can't make up their mind. Sometimes it's 13T, sometimes it's not. Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
the new design. I think that's technically 2017, though.
Is it?
Very, very end of 2017.
I thought the latest one came out beginning of 2018.
Yeah, end of 2017.
It works.
Oh, well.
That's why my pick, the XPS 139570, can be considered because it did come out in 2018.
Yeah.
Is that the one that had that Intel Radeon chip in it?
No. That's the XPS 15 2-in-1. Which, I mean, it's pretty cool, but I think my argument for XPS 139570 is this was a redesign of the XPS 13, the previous 9560, which had been used for maybe 3 or 4 designs. It had the USB Type A, which is hard, really, really hard to give up. They do give that up. Dell does, as Yoda would say. But it is a redesigned chassis with redesigned cooling for the newer, hotter CPUs. It has 2 fans, 2 heat sinks over the single fan design of the previous model, and this thing just smokes.
This is a 13-inch?
13-inch, and it's a Core i5 quad-core that honestly is faster than probably most other manufacturers' i7 parts.
How many?
Because they push it so hard.
How many USB-A Type A slots are there?
I think there's 3. Oh wait,
on the
Type
13?
A's?
Yeah,
Type A's. I think it's really just there's
none.
I think there's 2 or
Type
3,
A?
3 C's, and that's it. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah. I mean, it sucks. But at least the keyboard is not horrible, right? It's actually a little bit better than the previous model because the keys are a little bit bigger.
Well, Gordon, I think you can get behind some people in the chat saying the X1 Extreme, or the Carbon, or the P1. So ThinkPads, I thought you were going to go with a ThinkPad X1 Extreme.
No, I mean, I honestly, I still in the middle of reviewing the X1 Extreme, and it's respectably fast, but it's got some kind of little weird things, but
My pick is obnoxiously fast.
Oh.
So
MacBook Pro i9.
I'm a desktop guy, but I also do some gaming laptop reviews here for PCWorld. In general, if I had to spend my own money, what I would recommend to most people, I've been really digging on Acer's Predator Helios 300 line this year. But I was sitting there thinking, like, okay, of all the laptops I've tested this year, which one was I most upset about having to send back? And the answer was the frickin' $4,000 Alienware 17 R5, because this thing's a big, huge, honking beast of a desktop replacement that has Intel's Core i9 chip. It has an overclocked GTX 1080 in it, and it just, again, does stuff that laptops could not do before. Multi-threaded performance, it was 55% faster than the previous models we were comparing it against. And despite all that power, Alienware and Dell's engineers did some sort of magic. It gets about 225 minutes of battery life in our rundown test, whereas most gaming laptops give up in about half that time. So somehow, despite all that power, it can last for a decent bit. I mean, your back will probably get sore carrying it around. But
did they just shove a bigger battery into it?
That's actually really impressive, because aren't battery sizes or battery capacities limited because of like airline restrictions and all that?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're like, you're not allowed to bring on Alienware laptops.
Well, no, it's like Gordon and I were talking about this once, where I think battery capacity is actually limited for what you can bring onto a plane. So I think obviously manufacturers are going to be catering to that, because they don't want to have to tell you that, okay, well, you bought this desktop replacement laptop, but now you can't take it with you when you travel.
Yeah, I'm
You
sure.
just said 100 watt hour maximum. This one actually has 99. I just looked.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, for a laptop that's that power, probably power hungry, for them to get that out of it, the battery life is really impressive.
Not bad. Well, wait, but I forgot about this now that it has been a long year.
It's been a very long year.
Yeah. Here's another one that's really worth nomination is the MSI GS65 Stealth. Thin 8RE.
Yeah, that was a really...
That's the perennial for us, though.
But I mean...
really pretty.
That has that i7 8750H, 6 cores.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
1060, 6 gig.
Is it Max Q?
I think this one was a non-Max Q version. But the thing is, here's the thing, £4.
I know.
£4.
I know. It's why, as Brad was saying, that's the reason why it's our perennial favorite.
The Zephyrus, I personally like the Zephyrus line too. There's somebody else in chat too.
Yeah, but the Zephyrus, they really give up the battery life. They really have decided, you know what, this is really a desktop replacement almost, because they really they chuck the battery capacity is very low on that. I'm just actually looking at, where's that? 323 minutes of playback. That's pretty good. And GS65.
There's some people throwing in for the new Blade 15.
I mean, the Blade's pretty nice.
Also,
too.
There's a couple people asking. I can't tell if they're just being or trolling us or something. But the new MacBooks with the Core i9.
Yeah, that's trolling.
They are just trolling.
It is for what it is. It is. I mean, honestly, for the Mac crowd, that is the best MacBook they've made in years. So I've said that. I'll say it again. But I would definitely take PC laptop over that.
Also, just to let you know, I have to leave in about 12 minutes.
Oh, goodness. All right.
So those are our three, right?
That MSI. Ooh.
MSI, the Dell XPS 13, and the Alienware. That is a very different
Adam,
laptop.
Did you have a...
Nothing Spectre. Yeah.
Oh, and the Spectre.
Yeah.
But that was 2017, right?
It was 2017. So it's disqualified, unfortunately.
I prefer I haven't tested either of those two that you're talking about, but I prefer the XPS overall design to Spectre. So that alone would give it my vote, I think.
Well, so the reason why I picked something like a Spectre is because, one, if they still give you Type A ports, which to me is a big deal. And two, I've really come around. So before Gordon, when I first started PCWorld, Gordon and I used to debate because I was a really big hybrid, like a Surface kind of fan. And Gordon was always in favor of like the hinge, 360-degree hinge type models where it was all attached. And I've actually migrated more towards that direction.
As they say today, you've evolved.
No, I still love my Surface, but I do find that at least at an office setting, having the hinge is a little more useful because I don't really know where I'm going to be sitting at any given moment sometimes.
I found for the most part, like to me, and I would, in fact, if I had a choice, I love the XPS 13 definitely for performance. Spectre X360 13, if I had to pick for my own just general use, I would pick the Spectre. I love the form factor because of the convertible, the pen, support, the touch that you get out of the Spectre. XPS doesn't do that except for the very top end model, which is stupid expensive and with the 4K panel.
So it sounds like the Spectre wins.
Well, but no, it came out in 2017.
Came out in 2017.
2017, so it's
if I had picked the 15-inch model, that's where I got mixed up because we did review the 15-inch model this year. But I generally prefer the 13-inch one because it's just a little easier to carry around. The battery life's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Most people aren't going to need 4K, so you don't need to really get a 4K 13-inch model, so you can save money that way as well.
And did we talk about the Helios 500? We got a couple votes in there.
We talked about 300.
Oh, we didn't. Okay. We didn't throw the Helios 500 in there. Or just AMD fans want that one?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Shrug.
Yeah.
No.
So what's the final pick? And the XPS?
I don't know.
I think we should vote.
And what was your...
MSI? Mine's the
GS65, Alienware R5, MSI GS65.
I like how Gordon actually had two picks, and we're just accepting that.
Yeah.
No, everybody, they're very different laptops. You have one that's an ultra portable quad core Ultrabook. One is an ultra portable gaming laptop, right? For what it is, £4, and then you have all out, smoke everything Alienware.
Yeah.
My vote's on the 65.
If you had to pick for yourself,
for my own money.
No, Lana can't choose.
It's hard. It's really difficult.
Ryzen 2200. Gosh, that's just tough. That's really hard.
It's a really tough choice. Like, if I had to pick specifically for me, dang, that's still hard.
GS65. If I had to pick like one machine to go away with.
I think I'd actually pick the GS65 as well.
6 cores, GTX
the Ryzen 1.
What?
Ryzen 1. That was the one that nobody came to the table with. We just kind of thought of halfway through.
I just forgot it came out this year. It's been one hell of a long year.
That feels like it happened last year.
Did it?
No, that was earlier this year. The one with the black.
I know, but I mean, like, it just like that's how long ago it feels. Like it feels like everything that happened in the first half of the year actually happened like a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, hell, the review was in May.
All right, best.
Cool. Yeah.
Whatever's next.
Yeah, the 2018 best laptop was MSI GS65. Now we're moving on to best innovation. Best
going first?
Innovation.
All right, so mine is not exactly
2200G.
Mine is not exactly exciting, but I brought something with me for show and tell.
Ooh.
So to me, the best thing that's happened this year is that manufacturers are releasing like little things like this to make building easier. So this is an adapter from Cooler Master that basically turns your 24-pin power cable from like a straight up and down orientation to like a 90 degree. So this is a 90 degree like adapter.
Yeah.
And it's not just this. There's like other stuff. So like I saw
you can get one for GPUs.
Yeah, there's like GPU one, and there's like just other like little things like this that I feel like manufacturers are turning more attention to, and I really like this because it makes building easier in the sense of routing cables, making things look cleaner, not having to fight with weird angles, so on and so forth. So I dig this.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Mr. Roboto would like to throw in DLSS. Nominate that.
Well, I was actually I was on the fence. I wanted to say real-time ray tracing because as much as people have been dumping on it, the fact that graphics cards can run real-time ray tracing in any way in 2018 is friggin' amazing.
Agreed.
But the fact that it's only come out in Battlefield kind of made me move off of that. So my pick for this year, the best innovation, we've seen it from AMD, Intel, I believe, and definitely NVIDIA, is that all these hardware makers are baking auto overclocking tools into their software to get you as much performance as possible, depending on the characteristics of your chip. And I really like I'm an enthusiast. I've been overclocking forever, but I really like the idea that all this official software now is just like, yeah, click this button and we'll test your chip and give you as much as we can. And I think it's a great thing.
That's just on the GPU side though, right?
No, that's with
The
like
CPU.
XFR2 for Ryzen. Like
Ryzen.
it reacts to your cooling and your power states, and it'll crank it as far as possible.
There's still nothing for Intel though, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like that thing that you've been going on. Like, hey, do you keep it on auto?
Yeah, it's like MCE.
MCE. Yeah,
it's certainly gotten more sophisticated.
Yeah, it's really picked up this year. It seems between the Ryzen's XFR and I forget what the other one is, and NVIDIA scanner tool. And AMD just baked, game testing into its new Radeon software features as well. So you can actually do that while the game's running. So you get the best results for that game kind of a deal. And I'm just all about it.
Somebody's asking, what about G-Sync HDR for you, Brad?
Oh, you guys are killing me. G-Sync HDR is amazing. I would put it in the same category as real-time ray tracing. It's going to be awesome in a year or two.
Well, I mean, so my first pick was a DirectX ray tracing, and that's not say 2080 or Turing. That is just simply ray tracing integrated into DirectX, which is a big deal. But
I'm hoping that's what I pick next year.
You're right, though, Brad. It really gets you nowhere. So my runner-up was, eventually it will get you somewhere, but today doesn't get you anything. But my runner-up was Threadripper 2990WX. Which is AMD basically won the internet, 32 cores. For consumer CPU, you really go no further than that. There's really absolutely No way you could ever justify going to a higher thread count than a Threadripper 2990WX. No?
Adam, I like it.
There's a lot of people in chat saying Fallout 76. just for fun.
Wait. I feel like they're skipping ahead. They're skipping ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I actually like the overclocking tools because I'm a wuss when it comes to that stuff. So I would never do it myself. I would much rather rely on a cool tool to do anything like that for me. So I'm down with that.
That's 2 votes. That's 2 votes. We're a split vote here since Elena picked a right angle adapter, which is really cool.
Stuff right like angle that.
Adapter.
It is really cool.
I actually really like that too. I think that's a great innovation.
I like
innovation.
yours a lot. I wonder if we can just like group them as little things to make your life easier.
No,
make your life easier. Hey, I like that.
Because if that were true, we could have grouped other things like 2080 Ti and 2200G.
No, because that's not a group.
Because they don't actually fit together.
Making a PC builder's life easier.
Yeah, I like
that. All right. What do we think?
Wait, are you saying you've changed your...
I like auto overclocking still.
Yeah, it sounds like you have to have a pick. You have to... You just can pick auto overclocking. Adam, you agreed with it?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I'm not moving.
But what was yours again?
It's Threadripper 2990WX because I did originally pick DirectX.
Well, the best
DXR,
innovation is...
I'm fine with changing my vote to Matt Brad's.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Gordon.
That's all right.
Threadripper's badass too, though.
Yeah, more cores.
No, I mean it's been a really awesome ride.
Was that this year too? It's crazy. Right?
Yeah,
it was this year.
It's a good one. All right, yeah. We cool with auto overclocking?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. 2018 Nerdies goes to best innovation goes to auto overclocking. Now for worst trend, which, we can already throw Fallout 76 in that bucket.
76.
GPU prices.
Wait,
GPU
what?
prices.
Come down.
GPU prices.
But
It started off utter crap, inflated to hell. And now that these new RTX cards are out, which are basically the only real new hardware, because Radeon 590 is really not, are out, you're paying the exact same amount of money for the exact same amount of traditional games performance that you did with the last generation, which was 2.5 years old when this came out. So I'm not down with that whatsoever. GPU prices started off awful and ended up awful. That's the worst trend for me.
What about i9 and laptops?
You're raising your hand.
I'm raising my hand.
Oh.
I think I would disagree strenuously since the very best GPU of the year was the Ryzen 3 2200G, which was $99 with a quad-core CPU. So I don't know how you can say that, Brad, because the 2200G was the best GPU of the year. Correct, Elena and Adam? Correct. And internet?
Which is why my pick is the RAM price trend.
Oh.
So very similar to the GPU thing, but...
It's so bad we have fake memory.
That's actually really true, right? Because you can't afford to get another 2 DIMMs of RGB memory, so you just get the Corsair one. So that you just, all the slots are filled. So at least you get the look.
None. No memory at all. I mean, it's just nothing.
Looks good.
Yeah.
I voted for USB-C, but that's an ongoing suckiness.
Okay, I got to say on the topic of that, there is nothing that irritates me more when I read other outlets' reviews. And I get why they say it, but it's such a throwaway line that they don't explain it, which irritates me when they say that, oh, I didn't like this device because it still uses micro USB and it doesn't have a USB port instead. I'm like, no, dude, the reason they do that is because everyone still has micro USB cables. USB-C implementation has been so bad that they can't wholesale move everyone off of it. So it's actually a good thing that this uses the quote-unquote old standard. But there's just so many reviewers who say this where it's like, oh, no, like it needs to be USB-C.
I don't understand it.
Dude, do you not live in the real world? Like every time I go out somewhere to charge something and I forget my cable, I'm the one that's hosed.
Yeah. We're, you know what? Like USB-C, people with USB-C phones are like electric car owners. You're always thinking, oh, how do I charge?
Well,
Where's the next place I
no,
can
here's
charge?
the thing, though. Like, I think it's the same argument they can make, like you did with the whole RTX thing. It's that if they don't implement it, it's not going to move the standard forward. So I get why they say that, but they never actually say that in their reviews. So it just comes across as very tone deaf, and it irritates me.
I agree 100%. What irritates me about USB-C is, like, whenever I think about USB-C, I think of like that meme from Star Wars, the prequels, where they're like, "You were the chosen one," where he's yelling. Like, that's what USB-C could have been, but it's just a disastrous mess, and you have no idea what's going to happen when you plug something into it.
Well, plus, I think that what we're really also angry about is the USB-C only thing.
Yes.
Right. I don't mind. USB-C is awesome as an option, but when it's USB-C only,
Yeah.
like hell, I wish they made a phone with micro and USB-C.
Oh, yeah.
That
What
would
the
be
hell,
awesome.
right? 2 ports.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to derail this.
So we could also roll up Fallout 76 into games as a service. Somebody mentioned, because
That's a valid point.
yeah.
Garbage.
Also, somebody's throwing their head in for RGB.
Nope.
Oh, come on.
Not with this
Yeah,
crew.
we're not behind
There's
that.
at least 2 of us who are fans.
Real-time ray
No
tracing.
headphone jacks. No headphone
Oh,
jacks.
yeah, but that's
But that's an ongoing
that's
thing.
been ongoing.
Yeah, that's another ongoing thing.
Somebody else's.
No tiny phones.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody else would like to throw in Walmart PCs or Verge PC builds. Worst
Walmart
trends.
PCs brought to you by The Verge.
It's a highly produced video with no substance. Maybe is the trend.
Like this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Just wasting an hour and a half, folks.
Yeah.
I have to go soon.
Yeah. Sorry. What about Spectre Meltdown? Worst trend?
I mean, it's not a good trend for sure, but I don't know if it's a trend.
That is a terrible
For
trend.
me, I'm all about GPU prices, because if they had even back out, like right now, you can get Radeon RX 580s for great deals. That's great. That's awesome. You can get them for $160 if you know where to look. But the fact that it was so bad for so long that we're like, go buy a pre-built. Don't even try to build a PC right now, because it's ridiculous. And then it follows up with the RTX 2070 costing the same as a GTX 1080 and delivering about the same performance. Same with the RTX 2080 and the GTX 1080 Ti. Same price, same performance, 2.5 years later. I'm not cool with that. That's very much my worst trend of the year.
Yep.
Adam,
GPU prices, yeah.
you're on board with the GPU?
I mean, honestly, it's prices in general, really, the RAM and the GPU, but, like, yeah.
Gotta pick one.
Either way, you lose.
Adam's other job is on the Supreme Court. What do you think? I could change whatever. You wanna...
Yep. I'll flow in the wind.
As long as he doesn't have the right.
I could be swayed to just, USB-C is shit or garbage or something. But it's too ongoing. It's been like that for 2 years.
Yeah, okay,
so.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
it's not
I'm
really
willing
this
to
year.
go with GPU.
GPU prices?
GPU prices.
All right. The 2018 nerdy for worst trend of the year is GPU prices. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
To none of us.
That's why the 2200G won.
Yeah. So exactly.
Sorry, Brad.
Yeah. And to quickly recap, the CPU winner was the Ryzen 7 2700X. The GPU winner was the Ryzen 3 2200G with Vega 8 graphics. Best storage was the ADATA XPG SX 8200 Pro. The best case, NZXT H500. The best accessory, Creative's Super X-Fi. Best laptop, MSI GS65. Best innovation, auto overclocking, and worst trend, GPU prices.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun. We did it.
We did it.
Yeah, it was another year.
And I
Another
got
year.
to rush off.
Oh,
Sorry.
we got to rush off. Elaine's got to go, so I'm going to just take us out.
Do it.
Ready?
Thank you,
Check
everyone.
back next week for your fix of PC
No,
Talk.
later
no.
this week.
Oh,
Wednesday.
this week?
Wednesday, I think, right?
Wednesday or Thursday,
I
depending
forget
on when
which
we
one
want to do
was.
it.
Yeah, we're eating paper.
It's up to you.
What day?
Wednesday or Thursday, whatever.
Check back sometime this week.
This week.
For your fix of PC Talk on the Full Nerd. For audio listeners, subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. Please also leave a review. Every time you do, a 2200G will be voted best GPU. Send questions and comments to thefullnerd@PCWorld.com. Thanks for coming. I'm Gordon Young with Brad Charkis.
2080 Ti was robbed.
Elena 2200G Yi.
I won.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And Adam Patrick Murray will actually now switch us over to the Ryzen 3 2200G.
Hey, you know what? You're the winner. The people out there, the people listening, thank you. You made the Full Nerd awesome this year, and you made our YouTube channel hit 100K. So I appreciate you.
2200G did that, Adam.
You are the winners of 2018. Goodbye.
All right, awesome. I love those episodes.